Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to Tight Cycling. Welcome back to my channel. It's been a couple of days since I was last on the bike, but yeah, so today I will try to do an endurance ride on a course that I haven't finished yet, which is in France. Again, my apologies for mispronouncing the heck out of it. I would go with Tire Bouchon. Okay, that's my best guess. This is the longest route in France, and after this one there's only two left, La Reine and Ventop. But let's just start with this one and see how we can finish this one and hopefully get the route badge and getting closer to being done with yet another world. So far we have Yorkshire, New York, Mercury Islands. Yeah, I have done a lot of different worlds, and this is the one where there's only two left. So after this one, so let's just hope this is gonna work out. Anyhow, one more thing. I tried this one before. I went on this ride, I think last week or the week before, but weirdly enough, right from the start, my avatar made a U-turn, and I thought, okay, maybe this is part of the game, so I kept on cycling, and then unfortunately realized that I was en route to Ventop, and I didn't want to do that day. So, and it still said the name here as it does now, Tire Bouchon. So I have no idea what has happened, but hopefully this won't happen today. And yeah, hopefully this will allow for us to actually finish this ride. So let's see. Let's see. So if I'm correct, then we should turn left at some point and go towards the Aqueduc KOM instead of going straight towards Ventop. But again, that remains to be seen. So let's just keep our fingers crossed and hope for the best. Yeah, as for the power, my watch was telling me to do a 2 watts per kilo endurance ride today, and I hope to get there. As for now, we'll just warm up, and we'll probably be around 130 watts, which is 1.7 watts per kilo. That's what we are doing at the moment. And after about 10 minutes or so, I guess after the warm-up, we'll try to bring this up to 2 watts per kilo, or at least close to that. And with that, I would assume this ride is going to take somewhere around 2 hours, maybe a little bit more, because it does have, I think, like 550 or something odd meters. Anyways, so let's just keep on pedaling and see if we make the left turn in a couple of kilometers. So I'll check back with you in a few minutes. So warm-up time. So I was just looking online for the route. At least from the start we went into the right direction. Now it's just really important that at the next possible chance we turn left, and then hopefully this will get us on the right track. By chance I just saw that we've been overtaken by H-Fraktur, who is a friend of mine from Germany, although she has a Belgian flag because the team she's riding for is from Belgium. But she is not only an incredible Zwifter, but also an absolute in real life endurance monster. So yeah, follow her on Zwift, follow her on Strava. She's an amazing athlete and really shines when it comes to endurance rides. So there's probably a reason why she's not using her real name, so I will not say that right now, but her full name here on Zwift is Humerus Fraktur, which is the clinical description of an incredible bone fracture she had last year, and she's still recovering from it. But yeah, give her a follow and look at her results, especially the endurance ones. Incredible. All right, I see the road is splitting already on the small map. I can see it, and hopefully we'll turn left, because this is where we should go. So keep our fingers crossed, and yeah, we'll see. I will write her a message real quick to just wish her good luck, because I have a suspicion she's actually on the Mont Ventoux. All right. So it does look like we are turning left here, which is good news. Yeah, I just wrote her a message to see if she's on the Ventop route or if she's also going to go on this route here. Anyways, yeah, it looks like we lost her, which means that she's on the other route. I could have used my power up. Anyhow, oh no, she still shows up in the nearby Zwifters list, but maybe she is just finishing off or warming up for a ride. But for us, we've been on for 13 minutes, so we are somewhat warmed up. The average power is already at 150, which is great because this is what we are shooting for the entirety of this ride. Actually, we are shooting for 155, but you know, who's counting? Anyhow, so we are now on a descent, and then I think we're gonna go for the Aqueduc KOM. But to be honest, as long as we are on the right course and stay here, I don't care. I just wanna finish this ride, get this route badge. I've tried it twice before, and one time there was something that was on my end that was wrong, I think. And the second time, as I mentioned earlier, was that just from the get-go, we were sent in the wrong direction. And that has happened before, being sent in the wrong direction, but on a group ride. And it was the Sunday Cycle Nation Endurance ride, the D category that is usually held on the RGV. And at the bottom of the wiggly bits, so after the KOM, there comes some descent and then come the wiggly bits after the, I think, Ballon Sprint. And then you would usually turn right at the Marina towards the Marina Sprint. But for whatever reason, we were led left. By we, I mean, I think it was about 10 people out of 150, 180 people. And that happened to me twice. Yeah, so not quite sure what's going on with this world, but it has not happened to me in any other world but France. But okay, so far so good, knock on wood, that things are going to be fine and continue to be so. Yeah, I don't think that I will sprint. There's no need, because with no lead out or with no people to drag you or give you some break the wind for you, it's going to be very tough to increase upon the personal bests. But anyway, so now I see that at the very bottom, Ben, yeah, you cannot quite read his name, but the very last rider on this Zwifters nearby list is a German guy with an incredible FTP. Yeah, he's gone, I think it's higher than 5.5 watts per kilo. He's also often on those Cycle Nation rides on the weekend. And yeah, it's just incredible to see this raw power that he can produce. All right, so this was the Ballon Sprint reverse. And I assume that we are going now towards the aqueduct, but yeah, I'll be quiet and fast forward a little, so you're not gonna get stuck with simply watching the French outbacks here, although they're actually quite nice. But anyhow, I'll catch up with you in a bit. All right, so look at that, 10K already done. So we're doing all right. As for HR, we are in the middle of zone 2. For average power, we are bang on 2 watts per kilo. It seems like we are pushing a little bit higher than that. So I expect this number to be going up slightly, but I might also slow it down a little to not overdo it, because I haven't been on the bike for a couple of days. And yeah, 2 hours at 2 watts per kilo, nothing to sniff at. So anyhow, so let's just enjoy this wiggly bits here, and then we will do a little bit more climbing towards the KOM, the Aqueduct. I think it's the reverse one, not quite sure. Yeah, I think it should be the like counterclockwise, which I assume is the reverse. Anyways, enjoy the view, and I'll get back to you with more once there's anything to report. So I just realized that we were actually coming back on the RGV route after the KOM. So we are now going down towards the marina and probably turning right to have the Marina Sprint, which funnily enough, 10 days ago or so, I contested that sprint twice and had both times identical times, 11:52 if I remember correctly. So I thought that was so weird. Both times I started sprinting from within the group. I think one time I had a draft, one time I had an arrow, but yeah, so weird that it came out to be the exact same time down to the hundredths. Yeah, here you can see it on the left, 11:52. And both times are about like 1 week old or 10 days old. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to doing that one more time, hopefully next weekend, when the Cycle Nation group is on here again. And what I also found out is that those times, they don't matter if you don't finish the ride. So I stopped after 50K, thinking that this would still count towards my, power Z points. And yeah, but they didn't, because you have to be mentioned in the results list for it to count, which was really unfortunate, because twice the same time just kind of indicates that this is very close to the limit of what I can do at the moment. So I'm not quite sure if I'll be able to improve upon this, but I'll certainly try. Anyhow, I think I got 12 watts per kilo for the sprint, or for, you know, parts of the sprint as a max power. And no, that's actually not true. It was 12 watts for those for those 11 seconds or whatever it was, 11.5 seconds. Anyhow, hopefully we'll better our time. I think I have to start sprinting earlier, because going through the start line of that sprint, I was still increasing my speed, and that should probably not happen. So you want to be going through that first time-taking line already with max speed, and then ideally hold on to that speed or to the power. And also I need to drop further back in the group, because my second attempt, I was the last 80 meters or so, there was no one in front of me. So even with constant power, you would lose some speed. Anyhow, there are small little details from a couple of days ago. I'll try to remember to post the previous video in here. But if you are a subscriber to my channel, then it's very easy for you to find all the videos. And I think this one is named something with 2 identical times for 2 sprints, something like this. You'll recognize it once you see it. If you haven't yet subscribed, then please do. It really does help. It helps with the algorithm. It helps with the channel as well. I have a lot of different plans for this channel. Hopefully making more races happening. Hopefully, hosting some of these races. Hopefully getting into some races with some fellow YouTubers and some friends from all over the world. So yeah, doesn't cost you anything, and I would really much appreciate that if you did subscribe. Look at it as a Zwift ride-on, that if you're a Zwifter, you probably hand out readily to all people on the course. Take a look at this and say, oh, this is just, a YouTube ride-on. And if you then turn on the notifications, of course, then you'll get a message as soon as I upload something new, which should happen a couple of times a week, aiming for probably 4 or 5 times with a couple of races. And also please feel free to leave a like and or comments with what you would like to see more of. Maybe more races, maybe more route badge hunting on different courses, maybe, competitions between some friends and myself, or whatever your heart desires. Just leave a comment. I promise I will get back to you, and much appreciate your effort and your time spent on this channel. I know you have free choice, and I do much appreciate that you spend some time on my channel. Anyhow, that's it for the plug. By now we have done 17K, which means that we have done more than 25% of the total ride. The average power is still 2 watts per kilo, which is great. Our heart rate is still in the middle of zone 2. I will really try to keep it there for as long as I can, and then maybe towards the end either spice it up or see if there are some races happening just about the time when we finish, because then we should be properly warmed up, and yeah, maybe then we can squeeze in one race. So I'll let you know. But anyways, so for now, let's just enjoy the next couple of kilometers until, I guess there's a sprint coming up, which I will just blast through. And I think then it's the KOM, the Aqueduct. So I will slow down at that point to talk a little more. Anyways, just enjoy, continue to enjoy the ride, and I will see you in a bit. Okay, so here we are. A third of the route is done and 2/3 remain. Elevation wise, we have also done a third, actually I think a little bit more, which means so 45 minutes now. So we'll probably come out somewhere around the 2-hour mark, maybe a little bit more, 2:05 or so, depending on how much we can squeeze out of our legs. Today is Monday, and the last time I rode was last Wednesday. So it's been a couple of days, but yesterday I wanted to get on the bike, but I felt like too tired and exhausted from the couple of days before that. I was traveling and met with some friends and dinner parties and stuff. But so now we are back, and I will definitely try to make up for lost time, lost kilometers. What also helps is that this week starts the tour of Utopia, which is a Zwift race, or a Zwift ride, I should say, on different routes in Utopia. Stage 1 is very flat, so there are 3 different options for distance, and I don't know the exact names of those routes, but I think the first one some 36k, next one 29, and I don't know the third one. I think it's less than 20. But the novelty in those rides is that you are getting double XP, which is really nice, because that would really help us on our quest for the fire socks before the end of the year. So as you can see, I am on level 31 at the moment, about maybe 25-30% in towards level 32. but we require level 50 to unlock the fire socks, and yeah, that is an additional, I think, I looked it up today, I think it's like 13,000 kilometers from now, or 16,000, I think. Yeah, 16,000 kilometers, and plus whatever we need to finish this level, which is, I think, another 300. So let's say 16,500. And our goal for this year was 15,000. So even if we manage to go slightly above, then yeah, 16.5 more thousand kilometers, and we have done about 2,100 or so for now, would bring our yearly total up to 18,500, and that's quite a bit more than 15, actually more than 20%. So I'm not sure if we can manage to do that. So in this case, it really does help not only unlocking route badges that we will try to do regardless, same as with this right here, but also to get additional XP by simply riding endurance rides. And this is what I will try to do for this month. All endurance rides that I have, I will try to make as these tour of Utopia rides, which should help. And I think in my time zone, my afternoon or my day, they start every hour, and they also have late join, which means we can potentially sign up for 3 consecutive rides. And even if we don't finish the let's say we do the A category one, which is 36K, let's say we don't finish this in 1 hour, then the late join option should help us making it to the next race and to the next. So I hope that we can do maybe 3 of those rides consecutively and, you know, get 100K in, which is normally 2,000 XP, but double that, so 4,000 XP. Yeah, that should really improve our or boost our account. Also, I've been behind my goal for each month. For the first month, I managed to do about 1,000, actually less than 1,000K. And the next month, it was, I think, 1180 or so. But I would need 1250 per month on average in order to make it to 15,000 per year. And yeah, so there were some health related issues that didn't allow me to do all the biking that I wanted to at the beginning of the year. And then there was some traveling last month that essentially took away 2 weekends, and I usually do 150 to 200K per weekend. So that was, you know, 300-400K that I'm missing. But yeah, the next couple of weeks I should be home, and I will definitely try to better my stats and get back to at least average what I need for the 15K a year. If not, get a little above that. So if I need to slack off at some other point, I can. And this time it's the perfect time to actually do that because of the double XP points. Anyhow, so we are now passing by those beautiful lavender fields here on the right, and I think the sprint is coming up, and after the sprint there's going to be the KOM, the Aqueduct. So I will fast forward here through the sprint, and then I think the sprint we actually probably finished, and I think we are coming up to the KOM. Anyways, then let's just do that, and then once we are on the top of the KOM, there's going to be a long downhill section, and then you can enjoy the view again. So let's see, maybe this is even the sprint. I have no idea. I think it's the KOM. So we're going to use our draft here, which is actually quite stupid because I should have used it on the top of the aqueduct, because that's also very flat. So here you can see the best time, which also happened last weekend. I think was 32 something. So let's see what comes up. So somebody put in a time of 17:71. That is pure insanity. Or 34:15. Okay. So best time 34:15. But when I was riding it second time around, somebody took on the this KOM and actually did it in, I think, 29 seconds, which is insane. So that's why I'm really questioning the 17:71. That seems impossible, or I don't know, maybe somebody put his weight or her weight as 10 kilos. No idea. Anyhow, so we are just going through that arch here, and then we'll enjoy the descent. And I will fast forward now, and if something else changes or we come to another landmark that needs to be discussed or explained, I will let you know. So enjoy the ride. Talk to you in a bit. Okay, so we just took a left turn again towards the Ballon 2 summit. We are not going to do the Mont Ventoux, but just a part of it. And so we'll see how many vertical meters we will gather here. But that should probably get us closer to the total of this ride, which again is, I want to say 550, 560 or so vertical meters. Anyways, let's enjoy this little ride here, this little KOM, and I'll check in with you in a few minutes. Okay, so you can probably see that we're doing a little bit of back and forth with our ghost avatar, which means that we are roughly on the same time as what we did before, which is about 10.5 minutes. It just so happened that we went through like half the distance of this whole ride. So I thought it's a worthwhile break point or point where I can tell you about this. Yeah, but now we have about maybe 4 minutes left on this climb, and I'll get back to you right before the KOM. So enjoy. So this is the last bend before the finish line of the KOM, the Petit KOM. Here we are. We barely beat our previous personal best by a few seconds. Does not really matter, but I do try to, if possible, to improve upon my times as often as I can. And just barely edging yourself out means you have maybe more and more times to do that again and again. Yeah, so it's been 3 seconds that we get faster, which is nice. So far for our ride, we've been doing exactly 2 watts per kilo. Actually, just a smidge over. And we have been in zone 3, the bottom of zone 3 for some time, but now we are again in the middle of zone 2. And on this downhill, it definitely is going to come down, the heart rate. And I think there's about 200 vertical meters left. And yeah, the rest should be distributed over, you know, what we have now, about 30 kilometers left of relatively flat roads. So yeah, I assume that we are going back to the KOM, to the aqueduct, but I'm actually not sure. So I'll let you know when there's a split in the road. Until then, enjoy the descent. Yeah, okay, so as expected, we are not going straight towards the sprint, Marina Sprint. but we are turning here right towards the wiggly bits, and I assume that we will go this all the way to the KOM, to the reverse KOM, and then finish the loop down in the marina. So yeah, this is essentially one big loop, which is, I think, of the RGV, which I think is about 27k or thereabouts. So yeah, essentially one of the 4 laps that I usually do on Sundays in reverse. Then we are done. And then it's just fingers crossed for us to unlock the route badge. But it worked out so far, so I have no reason to believe that it wouldn't this time. Anyhow, so let's enjoy those wiggly bits here, and I will get back to you once we hit the KOM. So we're coming up to the sprint, Ballon Sprint. Again, this one is in counterclockwise, I guess, reverse. And after that, we should come up to the KOM reverse, the Aqueduc. Here we are not contesting, just rolling through, as we are trying to maintain rather constant power, which is still at 2 watts per kilo. We've been going a little bit up and down and venturing into zone 3 heart rate wise, and now we are back in zone 2 at the higher end of zone 2, but still zone 2. And yeah, 2/3 of the whole ride is done, meaning that there's only about 45 minutes left in this ride, 20k. So yeah, I'll get back to you once we start with the KOM, and from there it should just be like, I don't know, 15k or so to the finish line and hopefully to the route badge. So in a couple of minutes I will check in with you again. Enjoy this ride along the French countryside and along those lavender fields that are coming up on our left. So we are coming up to the KOM, the Aqueduc KOM, counterclockwise, and yeah, I will probably add another like 20 meters or so. You can see as our ghost avatar is staying way behind. We have not really contested this yet. Looks like we will come in just a little shy of a minute. Oh, Marty is making an effort. All right, so just a little less than a minute, which is good enough for a new personal best. And yeah, now there's about, I want to say 100 meters left of climbing. Okay, Team Marty from Switzerland did a 35-second for the KOM, which is, I guess, a very strong time. So that puts him in 4th place. Really nice. All right. So here we are just ascending and enjoying the ride. And I will catch up with you in a couple of minutes. So now there's only 20% left in this ride. And yeah, we are just bouncing around between zone 2 and zone 3. Heart rate zone, that is. Average is still 2 watts per kilo. And yeah, so we'll just chug along here for the last 12K and then see what else is out there race-wise, because now we are definitely warmed up, so maybe we could go into a small race. I'm not sure what just happened. Okay. Anyway, so now we are heading into the last part of this ride, and before we hit the sprint, I will catch up with you again. But as always, enjoy that ride, and I will speed it up now so you don't get too bored. See you in a bit. welcome back. We almost made it. The Marina Sprint coming up here. This is again counterclockwise, and we have 4 kilometers to go, which makes me believe that we're actually heading straight and doing the Petit KOM again, because we're also missing about 80 meters or so vertical. And if I remember correctly, the climb is about 2.7k. So that would make sense. So let's see what happens. But yeah, that's pretty much the loop. Almost there. So quite a long one, 64k in total, but quite nice. And 550 meters vertical is not too bad. So yeah, I like it. I actually like France, despite the fact that I got kicked out or led the wrong way a couple of times before. But anyhow, so yes, we're heading towards the Ventop summit, but we are just going to do the Petit KOM, I'm sure, and that's done it for this ride. So anyways, I'll get back to you in a few seconds once we hit the starting point of the KOM, and then just one more climb and we are done. Almost there. The last K is upon us, and yeah, actually it just so happened that the KOM for Ballon 2 starts here, despite us having had probably already 50 meters of climbing from the Marina Sprint to here. But I'm sure that we're gonna turn, I guess it's left, towards the Petit KOM, not doing the Ballon 2. That we'll do some other time. But yeah, so time to do a little recap. So 64k through France, I guess 550, 560 meters of climbing. It's essentially the RGV, I never know which one it is. I think it's RGV. With this little detour here to the Petit KOM, that is towards the Ballon 2, or Ventop as it is called in Zwift. Yeah, so we'll probably be done in 2 minutes, give or take, meaning that takes about 2 hours 10 at a moderate pace. We have been doing 2.1-ish watts per kilo so far. It's probably going to go down to 2 once we hit the downhill on the other side, which we will gladly take, as this is essentially free XP points. So yeah, quite a nice ride. and I will speed up right before the summit now, and then I will say my goodbyes. So enjoy the last couple of 100 meters. So this is the big moment where we turn left and go through the arch to hopefully unlock the route badge. You can see that the GPS is not quite correct, as the distance countdown has been at 0 for a couple of 100 meters already. But as long as we unlock the route badge, I don't care. So let's see if that happens. And here we go. Yes, route complete. Tire Bouchon, at least my pronunciation. And with that came 1220 XP points, which we gladly take. That puts us over half the way to level 32. So I guess somewhere around 55, close to 60% maybe. So we'll take this downhill here, get those points. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So thank you very much for joining me on this route badge hunting session / recon. So if you ever have a race on this course or on parts of this course, please feel free to refer to this video to see where it maybe makes sense to plan an attack or go for sprints if it's a point race, or I really do like this route. I've been riding the RGV numerous times, and this little extension that goes out towards the vent top is actually quite nice. 590 meters, 2 hours 15 of riding for 65k. Doable, absolutely fine. So we have been riding at 2 watts per kilo, and majority of the time I think we stayed in zone 2. Now we slipped into zone 3 a couple of times, but that's also okay. Anyways, so I will just enjoy this little downhill section here as well. But for you, I just hope you enjoy this video. If you do, please consider giving it a like. Leave a comment if you have any suggestions as to what I should do next, what other routes you would like me to do a recon on, or just do, a ride on. If you'd like to see more races, stay tuned. I will have probably 2, 3, 4 coming up this week. To get notified, maybe consider subscribing to the channel and turning on the notifications. And yeah, with that, I hope you have a really good start to your week. And Tight Cycling rates this as a maybe a 5 out of 10. It was a little bit longer. Maybe a 6. 5 is probably all right. And for those who don't know, TIGHT stands for this is gonna hurt tremendously. Today this one did not. As I said, 5 out of 10. So moderate. But there will be some bangers coming up later this week and next week. So stay tuned. For now, I'll leave you with our motto, which is ride hard, have fun, tight. So tight cycling out. I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye bye.